people. Like, will you
Hey,
send
buddy.
me, hi, everybody. Welcome to All About the Joy with Carmen and Rick. Hi. Wait, so you're going to send me
Yeah, it's really easy. I'll tell you how to do it.
the link or whatever. Okay, cool.
Agreed.
So here's the thing. I don't like this setting so much because it makes us so small.
Okay.
But the
Do,
thing is, we're
do the second one,
do the
and
second one because
then
I think the second one is better, right? This setting I
yeah,
like.
and
But
then when
you're
we get to
saying,
do the
but
other
when I
video,
add in Simon, then I just log us off. It doesn't matter, right?
yeah, I mean visually the transition probably looks a little bit better with the first one, but
All right. And this is if somebody comes in the chat area. Oh, so that makes it look weird though, too, right? It makes us look fatter. I don't
I don't know.
know. It's so weird.
Take that.
Hey Kevin, how you doing? I'm still trying to figure out how we can work this program out because now we had to change the whole thing because Rick was handling it and then it's a whole I don't know. It's going to take some time to get used to it. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't do anything wrong, by the way, in case somebody
Oh
thinks
my
that.
God, did I imply that? Rick did everything wrong. It's all his fault that we are in this drama.
Yeah,
I'm just
I can
kidding.
admit it to myself. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't do anything wrong at all. I
Mm,
I think it's just I'm getting used to using this, and also I don't like everything being so complicated. I like just being kind of the host,
mhm.
and it's just going to take time before I get used to doing it. Hey Tony, how you doing? Oh,
You-
you know what I want to do too, and Rick, you can do this afterwards. Is I want to make sure that I give a shout out to Ted and his show. I told him that I would definitely promote his show, which is Late Night Parents with an S.com. Hi Victor. In chat, I come from Eric's tribe. Oh, his tribe. Okay. Hi, Victor. Nice to meet you. Um, so yeah, Ted's show is on after our show, like about 7:15ish. Well, I think it's like 7, but I'm gonna say 7:15ish. So
Okay.
but Rick, how you doing? You doing good?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah, I got the day off tomorrow. Happy about that. Yay.
Great. So after we're done with the show tonight, we're gonna talk for a few hours because you have tomorrow off, right?
But you don't have tomorrow off, so you can't do that.
No, I don't. It's terrible. Okay, so I am going to tell you guys what we're doing today. It's a little bit different. I had an interview with my friend Simon in the UK. It's pre recorded. We're going to play that and then we're going to come back. We'll be in the chat. But I had a conversation with him. Rick hasn't heard the interview yet. And we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll see how it goes. The other thing I want to say is I have a few other interviews coming up, and one of them I'm really excited. I'm excited about both of them, but I'm kind of figuring out how we're going to do the interviews in the future because some people want to be recorded, some people want to be live on the show. So Chris Gales is coming on the show, which I'm really excited about. I want him live, but it depends on his schedule because I think it'd be cool if he might choose to play a little song, but I'm not sure. So, okay, I don't know how to do this. How are we? Am I leaving the chat up? Yeah, I'm leaving the chat up,
Yeah,
and then
I
I'm
can
just
go to
gonna.
I can go to YouTube and chat over there because I can't chat from here anymore. So that's all good.
Oh no, because you came in a different way.
Yeah, because that's
So
fine.
wait, how do I chat with people? Do I chat from here?
You still have the ability to do it. You should.
Oh, I didn't mean to make you do that.
Oh, that's fine.
It's just because you were okay. People are like, "What is wrong with these people? They do not know how to produce a show."
Yeah,
Like,
I was like,
well,
no.
no, now I got to say what's going on because so I gave Rick access to be my co-host. So he came on to the show, and what I realized is he's answering as me,
Mm.
which I trust you and everything, but I don't want you answering as me. I want you answering as you.
Right.
And so then it became this whole really weird thing where I was talking to Restream and they're like, yeah, a co-host is basically somebody who's speaking on behalf of the company. So I
Mm.
was like, okay, that's not what a co-host is, but that's more like an assistant or something. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
look at. I just think it's verbiage, but I think they should have the option. And they said they're going to put in a ticket. If other people talk about it, whatever. I guess nobody else cares because it's usually gamers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But for me, I think if we have a co-host, you should be able to control everything and then be able to handle the chat, but talk as yourself. Not Does that make sense? Am I
Yeah.
the only one who thinks this?
No, I agree.
I didn't understand the whole thing. So, anyways, okay. So I'm going to put the interview on, and I'll be in the chat somewhere, and then we'll come back afterwards. Victor, if you use Restream, you should just easily fix the setting normally. I was on with them all morning and I still don't understand, but Victor, I would be happy to hear anything you have to say. So I'm going to put on the interview and then we'll go from there. So, Rick, what am I doing? I'm turning you off, putting
Yep.
him on.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I am so glad to have you here. I'm excited, Simon. I just want to be clear with everyone in the audience. This is pre-recorded. And
Mhm.
I mean, we're live right now. We're doing it, but this is a pre-recorded thing, and I'll probably put that at the bottom or whatever
Mhm.
when we post this. But Simon, you and I have known each other. I think I was trying to figure out how long we've known each other blogging wise. Um,
I don't know.
I
I
think it's
really
been
don't.
10
It's some
years.
years though.
What?
It's some year. It's some years. I don't know how many years though.
I think it's 10 years.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've been blogging for 10 years. This year.
I think so because I was trying to figure it out and I'm like, this is what I love about the internet, right? Like there are a lot of bad things about the internet, but
Oh
then you
yeah.
have these connections with people. So,
Yeah.
um, tell me a little bit about yourself or tell the audience a little bit about yourself or whatever you want to share. I have questions for you if that'll be easier, but
No, that's. I mean, it's fine. You can have the questions in a minute, but well, I'm Simon. I live in the UK. Live near Cambridge. Work in Cambridge. I'm an engineer. I design circuits. And I have a whole mind full of random stuff that has made its way to my blog. And um, I've been blogging for 10 years now.
yeah,
This year, as of a few weeks ago, and through the years, I've tried to work out what to do with my blog or how to categorize it, and I can't. And I suppose perhaps the best way is an expression of consciousness. Maybe that's about it, really. But and as such, it's kind of lots of people blog specific things, but
right.
no, yeah, I've got all sorts in there. I mean, just the last few years, I've been sort of getting back to my creative side of drawing and writing and other stuff as well, painting, photography.
Yeah, you have
And
your photography, you have
yeah,
fiction, your writing, you have your art. Um,
mm,
um, I love that you said it's like a stream of consciousness. I kind of like that, but I feel like your home online, if you don't mind me calling it that, is
yeah,
it's kind of like mine in a way. I have, carmensuarez.com. Oh, and
mhm,
that was the other thing I was going to ask you because I don't have an exact website for you, except that it's
mhm.
through WordPress. But do you have a website?
No, it is that it's just a blog site, Farnell
Right.
dot word dot wordpress dot
WordPress.com.
com or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
so
Yeah.
I'll put that up there when I edit. I'll add it on
Hmm.
there. I just wasn't sure if there was something I was missing, but your website is kind of like mine. I call it my home online, and it
Yeah.
has like everything. And I feel like if we could get to that place where people use their website as a place where it's your home
They
versus
call
your
home. Yeah.
LinkedIn is your business or, Facebook is where you hang out with people or whatever. That's kind of how
Mm.
I look at it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved looking at your website even more fully because usually what we do is we see each other's blogs come on our stream
Yes. Yeah.
and then we read whatever's happening or whatever. So
Mm.
let me ask you this question because I just reread your latest blog and I didn't like it because I was like, I don't want him to know that I reread it.
Mm.
I wanted to ask you this question. You seem to be in a very interesting creative place. And I wanted to know, you had a line in there where you said the human race is generally annoying. And you were talking about just kind of people asking, can I or may I? And I wanted to see if you wanted to talk a little bit about what some of the latest blog posts are that you're, uh,
Yeah. So. I'm always trying to think of things I want to say,
Mhm.
and I've started because there's a lot of frustration in the world. It's no lie. Everyone's feeling that at the moment,
Yeah.
and I get that frustration out, but in a comical way. And the thing is, a lot of it's ranting. I sort of try and make it. I try and exaggerate it. That's where the humour is in the exaggeration.
Yeah.
And so when I say that the human race is annoying, it's like the human race generally is a complete whole. Because the thing is, when you actually stop and look at some of the things that's going on, you just think to
Mhm.
yourself, "This is crazy.
Right.
It's just mad. It's just like why would people do this or why would people do that?" And I think in the blog post you're alluding to, people say to you, "Oh, can you just?" It's
Yes,
like,
that's what it was. Yes. Can you
"Ah,
just?
can
Right.
you just?" And it's like, and when I hear that, it's like, I'm gonna really get annoyed here. It's like it's no just about if it's just go and do it yourself. It's,
Right. Because you're saying that the word just is making it like it's no big deal,
yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah,
when actually it is a big deal, like
it
what they're
is a big
asking
deal.
you to do.
The thing of it is, what is coming across is a perfectly acceptable lack of understanding about what they're asking you to do. Is
Right.
then translated to you as this is not. It comes across as this is not a big deal. This is
Right.
not difficult. Just do it. It's like, what's the problem? Don't complain about it. It's like it's like
So can
it's
I ask you this question? Because last night we had Eric on our show, and he was talking about, you know, um, I I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he was saying how much words matter.
oh, they
Um,
do, yeah.
they do, but here's my question, and this is where me and him had a little back and forth. Are you being, I say this respectfully, are you being a little sensitive to when people say, can you just, I think you said something like,
Yes, I
put a
am.
lick of paint on something. And I was like, what does a
Yeah,
lick of paint? We don't say that here in the United States, but somebody was
yeah,
asking you to paint something like it's no
mm.
big deal.
Yeah, I am, and kind of that in a way is kind of where essentially the humour comes into it,
Yeah,
a bit into the post because what I'm saying is like there's the flip side to everything, and it's just like, and that's where I say, oh, the human race is annoying because that's coming back on me,
right,
and that's kind of the thing. It's like every human being on this planet sort of like sees things their own different way. You'll see things and you'll see things that are annoying, but it's kind of reflection on you. And I think when you bear that in mind, it it sort of brings a different perspective to the whole thing. And when you're someone that knows that, it sort of, I don't know, you don't get answers, but you sort of get answers about yourself, how you view the world. And it's like,
right,
yeah, maybe I'm a bit sensitive, but the thing is that why are you sensitive? You're sensitive because you want to do a good job. You do a good job, and it takes time and effort, and it's hard. But equally, it's just like, you know, you could turn these things around sometimes. Say, can you just? It's like, oh, I could just do that, just the same as you could just do such and
right.
such. So that's kind of where the subtlety and the humour comes in, and sometimes I think it comes across, and I think sometimes people probably go, "Oh, he's a grumpy bastard," or
No, I
whatever.
totally got it, but I've known you for so long, you know?
Mm,
So I totally got it, but then I was kind of like, yeah, wh somebody else who doesn't get that you're, because I mean, I do think you're being funny, and I do
mm.
get, but you're also making a statement. I mean, you're
Yeah,
making a very
exactly. Yeah,
powerful statement.
it's sort of like it's making a statement, but delivering it with a spoonful of sugar in the great
Right?
Mary Poppins way.
But that's the best
So
way for it to
so
come across, right?
exactly, yeah. But the thing is when you see it's like when you see things going on online, and I try and keep out. Well, no, I do keep out of online dramas. It's like so when someone calls someone out for something, it's all very negative and nasty,
Like
and
what,
then
though? Like what?
and then
Because
the
this
person,
is so interesting. Like what?
yeah, well, you've had there's lots of things going on nowadays, and I'm not making any statements on the rights or wrongs of anything, but you've had Gary Lineker, maybe one that's a bit more well known to people is J.K. Rowling. which she makes statements, but
Oh, J.K. Rowling. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Politicians all over the place that make statements, and it comes back on them, and and the trouble is, and that's kind of, I suppose, essentially what the point I'm trying to say is like, when people go out there and make a statement, they're putting themselves out there into the world,
Mhm.
and if you haven't done it in the right way, haven't delivered it with a bit of something that you can go down with, it comes right back at you.
Yeah.
Just as like in the street, if someone sort of like cuts you up in the street in a car, you get out and you start getting angry at them, they're
Mhm.
going to get angry back at you, and
Right.
it's kind of almost, I don't know, not rightly so, but you might have been in the right, they might have been in the wrong, but equally, that doesn't matter, because it's like the instant you go at someone, you've done something wrong. Straight
Right.
away, they're going to go, "Oh, I'm not having that," and they'll come back at you.
Right. Well,
So,
I think it's kind of we're trying to normalize. And this is my perspective, of course, but I just feel like we're trying to normalize how we're living online. And for the
mm,
longest time, people were hiding behind, and people still do it, right? People hide behind false names, or, they don't
mm,
show themselves, but because it's really easy to be angry, mean, and evil if you're not showing yourself, right? If you don't
yeah,
have your right name. So I try not to even pay attention to people who mask themselves or whatever. But then when you have a celebrity like, like J.K. Rowling's, or a politician like
mm,
Joe Biden, or whatever it is, because
yeah,
those are the big ones. They're being themselves, and they're sharing kind of in the town square, and the
mm,
town square is millions of people now.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's not just
mm,
in our neighborhood or whatever. And so I agree with you, but I personally think what's happening is we're trying to figure out a way to normalize ourselves
mm,
online. And etiquette and manners have been dwindling away for a long time.
mm.
So we don't even know how to
We don't know how
react.
to behave. We don't know how to
Yes.
behave online. That's the reality. And
Yes.
the thing is, I suppose what essentially my posts are trying to do, or the sort of the ranting posts anyway, trying to do, we've got to laugh at ourselves a bit more, because
Yes.
I think it's sort of like what people seem to, what I think many people forget, and almost everyone forgets. We all do it from time to time. It's what is life? It's this big collection of mess ups that we bounce to. We we're born into this world with nothing.
Mhm.
We're born. It's cold, and we're naked, and we're screaming, and we grow up. We go to school, and our parents tell us what we should and shouldn't be doing. We bounce from one mistake to the next, and not really thinking necessarily about what we're doing. And then when you take that step back, you don't not doing it from an egotistical point of view of like saying, "Oh, I'm better than you," but just from a point of view of observing and watching some of these things take place, it becomes almost comical.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, there's so many topics at the moment you could pick from, and I try not to have any views on any of it. I mean, I mentioned J.K. Rowling, but I have no idea what she said.
No,
Nothing.
wait.
I,
I want to back up to something else that you said. You don't have any views. No, of
well, I
course
don't
you
have
do.
any
You're
views.
human. You just
I
don't
have
share them.
views, but I try not. I try my best not to have judgments in the sense
Oh,
of,
I disagree. I mean, I don't disagree with your opinion of that, but I think as human beings, we all judge. It's part of our nature. You're just not sharing that judgment, is what you're saying.
yeah, true, yeah, okay, yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that, because it's it's like, as I said just a second ago, it's like I don't know anything that J.K. Rowling has said, and to a large degree, the other thing that's going on is the Harry and Meghan thing, another big one that's going on. I'm
Yeah,
keeping one out of that. The only thing I know is what people tell me,
right.
or is what sort of pops up on social media or something, and then I
Mhm.
sort of scroll past it. I don't want to know, and that's the thing of it. It's like
Okay, wait. Why
I,
don't you
I
want to
don't,
know? Why don't you want to know?
because if all right,
Wait, are you a big
it's like,
Harry
all right,
Potter
okay, no,
fan? Let's back up. Let's
no,
back
no,
up.
no. Okay, so hang on, no. Let me explain this to you.
Okay.
It's not I don't want to know. What I want to know is what's really going on.
With who?
But I'm not going to get that
Okay.
from reading one particular person's perspective on what's going on. And that's where I say I don't don't have judgments, or certainly I don't voice my judgments. I try not to, because I can't come up with a rational judgment on anything from reading one person's perspective about what they think
Hmm.
is going on. And that's the thing, because like, if you look, I mean, if you read a sort of any story to do with, like, we've just had lots of changes in government in the UK, lots of people saying are sort of like, oh, this person's useless, that person's useless, and it's sort of like, do I disagree? No,
Right.
but equally, there's another side to that coin. There's another flip to it. What's that flip side? And again, it's like, I'm kind of unwilling to sort of like just accept sort of like the standard view that everyone seems to be feeding you about whether it's Prince Harry, whether it's Boris Johnson,
Right.
or J.K. Rowling, or whether it's, a Tom, Dick, or Harry that said something weird
Okay, but let's
online or
say,
something.
but let's say it was in social media, and because this is where, and I love that. This is not what I thought we were going to talk about, but I'm so excited.
Well, it wasn't, yeah. Well,
No, this is fantastic. This is great. But here's my kind of, I'm going to push back a little bit, just like devil's advocate, and say, if it wasn't online and we were in the neighborhood, we lived across the street from each other, and J.K. Rowling was part of our neighborhood, and this still thing was going on, would you then have a different perspective to hear what maybe my opinion was, or somebody down the street? Because to me, it sounds like you're more of a person that you want to hear all sides of the story. It's not really about the internet. It's
yeah,
about,
it's not about the internet. No,
yeah,
it's about the human perspective,
yes,
and the thing of it is that I'm not saying it doesn't matter whether it's closer to home. It's just different. The thing is, it's easy for anyone to put anything online and say this is the truth.
right.
For me, it's like something that I heard in a podcast some time ago, was that, um, if you kind of imagine the sort of a group of people sat round a fire in the middle of a forest. So if you imagine sort of like that group of people are there and they're talking about everything, and there's the fire, and you around the fire and around those people, you can see what's going on. You
Mhm.
can make judgments on what's going on there. But outside of that, as you get further away from that fire, it gets darker and darker. But the world's still going on in that background, but you don't know about it.
Fair.
But the thing of it is that you've still got to operate in that world. Just because you don't know about it, you've still got to operate. And so you have to come up with your own judgments and,
Mhm.
or sort of assumptions on what's going on around you. But the thing is that what I think is worth bearing in mind is that those assumptions and those beliefs and those narratives you build up in yourself
Mhm.
are just a first wave, if you like. It's a first step,
Mhm.
and you've got to sort of perhaps be prepared to lose those when more information comes along,
But I'm going to be
which
contradictory
is
here
where
and say,
biases come from.
but
Which is
here's the thing: J.K. Rowling. I'm look at. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so
mm,
like, and I'm just using her as an example. And we're not going to actually
yeah,
talk about the subject. We're just talking around it. But here's the
yeah,
thing:
yeah.
um, do you think somebody of that stature, right? Because here's where it changes a bit. The reason why what she said mattered is because of who she is. Like, if you and
Hmm.
I said the same particular thing or whatever, we
Mm,
had a conversation about the subject matter that was thrown around and kind of dented or diminished her stature in
mm,
society, right?
yeah,
It would be a big deal between you and me. It would be a big deal between me and my friends or whatever, but it wouldn't be a big, she has a huge platform.
yeah.
So do you think it matters? Do you have more responsibility when you are someone of such, whether it's politician, celebrity, you have gazillion followers? Do you think that changes the game a bit?
Um, yes. Um, you know what? This is such a big thing, and
Hmm.
it's been going on for years. Even when I was a kid, it's like, parents saying, it's like, oh, this pop star or this television
Hmm.
celebrity shouldn't be saying this or doing that, because it's giving people the wrong impression. They should be more responsible.
But that's not fair. Yeah.
Oh, I know, and the trouble is that it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Everyone's entitled to their own point of view.
Right.
But the thing is, equally, do they need to say it? Because I suppose, because there's another thing as well. It's sort of I keep being made aware of in my life is they call it the three sieves or the three gates.
Three gates?
Um, the three gates. So if you're going to say something,
Okay.
is it? You've got to ask yourself three questions.
Okay.
Is it true?
Uh-huh.
Is it kind? And is it necessary?
Does it always have to be kind? That's the only one I might disagree with. Does it have to be kind?
Depends what you're trying to say and who you're trying to say it to. But the thing is, I think the one of the is it necessary is a key one. Because if you think is it necessary, ask yourself the same thing in different ways. Is it adding value to sort of like the big pot of communicative trail? And I think often it's not.
Well, I
That's
mean,
the
I
thing.
think that's kind of, I think that's where, look at, I live in Hollywood, right? I live in Los Angeles. This is the world of filmmaking. So celebrities are everywhere. And
Mm,
I tend to not listen to any of the gossip because it always takes away from the movie or whatever it is I'm watching.
mm.
And so my friends from back east, especially one particular person, will always be like, "Ooh, did you hear so and so getting a divorce?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even pay attention to it." But in the same respects, when it gets to such a level where I can't avoid hearing something,
You
like
see,
I'll
that's
give you
where I
a
get
great
to. Yeah,
example. I'll give you a
that's
great
where I get
example.
to.
I'm sorry.
That's where I get to. You can't avoid it anymore.
Well, this is what I'm gonna go back in the day and I'm gonna bring up because we're both sci-fi fans, so I want to talk about
Mm.
this. So I was a huge, and I'm still a huge X-Files fans. Do you know
Yeah,
X-Files? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Huge. I will admit it. I was in love with David Duchovny. Um, I loved Scully. You know what I mean? I love just the
yeah,
whole show was awesome, right?
yeah.
Um, and then, like, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 seasons in, they were kind of really in the meat of it and whatever. And we
Mm.
were all like loving it. And there was and I'm not sure what season this happened in, but there was all this discrepancy that David Duchovny was getting upset about the amount of money he was being paid for the show. Now, I had
Mhm.
always been like, I don't want to hear any of it, whatever, but it got, I was here at that time and it was unavoidable. You could not
Mhm.
hear it, and it changed how I felt about the show. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like it changed, and it bothered me. Even now, when I go and watch X Files, I
Mhm.
know where that split happened because it's when he leaves the show, and we have a new partner for Dana Scully. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then he comes back and does like whatever. Now, I might be misaligning some of this, but I'm not. I remember this as one reason.
It's all coming back to me now. I'd forgotten about it, but yeah, it's coming back to me
Yeah.
now. Mm.
Yeah. So it was almost like all of that information just changed it. And that's what bothers me sometimes when we hear things that has nothing to do with the art, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, Harry Potter is a great example, going back to J.K. Rowling's, it's like the reason that was so impactful. It
Mm.
doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. We're not going to go there on what she said. You said you don't even know, so I'm not going to bring it up. But
Yeah.
it's because the what she did with reading for children, reading for adults,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the whole series, just loving it, the movies, all of it was so profound in so many people's lives that for her to give an opinion about something that changed characters in the
Mhm.
possibly changed characters in the book or whatever, that's kind of the same thing. It changed how you felt about watching X Files for me. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the problem
Yeah.
is. But you're right. Should she not have an opinion? Should she not be able to vocalize? It's just a tough situation, I think.
It's tough, and then the trouble. Yeah.
It's a good
There's no answer. The thing of it is, there's no answers to that, and that's the thing I think is key to remember. Yeah, if someone says something, they might offend you.
right.
Should they have said it in the first place? Should you reply to that? Big questions. Don't
Yeah.
know. It depends on the person. Some people will respond. Some people won't. Um,
I think it's the time, the square has gotten bigger, right? The place
yeah,
where that's what I mean by the
it's
internet.
huge
Because
now.
She
It's
didn't
huge
lose
now.
any money. She's not hurting. She's not in pain. People like, how can you cancel her? Like, I think we all use that word a little bit. Nobody's canceling anybody. If people like, I find it hard to watch X Files now. I get very annoyed by it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like if I'm watching after a certain season and it's just the way it is. And that has nothing to do with social media.
yeah,
Nothing. Because it wasn't back then. It was just, I heard too much information. So I think I'm going to go back to my regular thing. I'm not saying I'm right, but this is how I feel about it. I think we're just getting to a place where we're trying to normalize how we as a society deal with being in this huge town square and
yeah,
hearing each other's voices and saying, you know what, I don't want to listen to her anymore because she believes A, B, C, and D. And you're like,
yeah,
I don't really care. It doesn't matter. She's blah, blah, blah. And she's right. And I agree or whatever. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
No, I mean, this is the thing, and the thing of it is that this is why we should follow the people that we want to hear from, and don't follow the people we don't.
And then you unfollow. Right. Okay. I want to get back to sci-fi. Oh, do you need a minute? I'm going to drink some
I need
water.
a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, cool.
There's a cleaner just popped in.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. Tell them I said hi. So let's talk about sci-fi. Let's talk about some
Yes.
sci-fi. Like, what are your favorites? Like, what is your ultimate favorite sci-fi?
That's a tough
Hmm.
one. That is a tough one. I grew up with Star Wars, love Star Wars, grew up with Star Trek, love Star Trek. But
Okay. Star Trek Next Generation or old school Star Trek?
well, I watched the old school because when I was a kid, the Next Generation wasn't around till I was about 16 in this
Yeah.
country. I think it came out a little bit early in America. It was on our normal terrestrial TV for about 3 years, and then it got moved to Sky, and we couldn't watch it for years because it went to Sky. You had to pay to watch it, and there's that sort of time. The parent didn't pay for
Is
Sky.
Sky the cable in the UK?
Or there's Sky, this was Sky satellite TV.
Oh, Sky Satellite. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know what that was. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. So there was that, but I sort of there's a lot of good stuff that's modern as well, and it's very different. I mean, you got likes of The Martian, the film and the book. I mean, the
Wait, wait,
book.
wait, 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 wait. I just missed something. You're talking about a different, what are you talking about? What show?
So I took another. So I'll split off. So, um, The Martian. It's a book and a film. You've
Oh,
heard of it?
don't even know it. Don't even
You
know
didn't
it.
know it? Oh, read it and watch it.
Okay.
The book is brilliant, and the film is broadly speaking the same as the book. There's a slightly different ending, but
Mhm.
it's both are very good in their own ways, in their own rights. Um,
Is this where you
another,
get your fascination for writing about, because you write about new worlds and you create new, right? I read that on your website.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I do. I've not done an awful lot of writing recently, but certainly when the inspiration comes to me, that's where it comes from. But the thing is, is to create something different, something new. And I think, arguably, and this would probably end up in a fight with some people, the best sci-fi film ever
okay.
is Interstellar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to fight with you. It's okay. It
No,
was
you
fine.
can disagree though. Come on.
Okay, wait.
Come
But
on.
you
You have
said
a view on that.
the
You have a
best
view on that.
sci-fi? Wait, did you say the best?
Yeah.
See, that's, you know what? I'm always going to be old school and be 2001 A Space Odyssey will always be the best sci-fi. I mean, you know what I mean? It's the classic. It's Stanley Kubrick. You've seen that,
Oh,
right? Come on.
you've got me. You've got me there.
Wait. Well, you've seen it though, right?
I have, of course, several many
Okay, you can.
times.
So I wouldn't say the best. It's just interest. I can't say. I stutter quite a bit, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I can't say that word, but yes, it was good. It was fine. I don't know if
Yeah.
it was. I thought it was the best. But you know what? For me, I'm not a big. I mean, I respect Star Wars, right? I respect Star Wars, but I think for me, sci-fi, I tend to lend more towards. Other than Stanley Kubrick's 2001, I tend to be more of a TV person when it comes to sci-fi.
Mhm.
So, like, even like Stargate SG-1, I was telling Rick the other day, like, I'm addicted again watching that show, like just watching one show before I go to bed,
Shall I
which
tell
is
you,
weird.
I haven't seen a single episode of that.
Of Stargate? Are you serious?
No. I saw the film, but I've not seen a single episode of it.
Do you not? I can't. Okay, we're done with this conversation now. Wait, is it because it's not available?
I don't know actually, if I'm honest with you. I don't know. I wouldn't
Wow.
know where to. I wouldn't know where to find it.
Oh, that is so. Oh, you know what? I think that's. I really love that. I'm not going to say it's one of my. It is one of my favorites. I'm not going to say it's the best, but I love that show. And then they have like all the spin-offs. Um,
I think that's maybe what kind of put me off, because I think I missed some of it, and then when it got going to watching it, there's so much of it that catching up on it would be
right.
take out
That's
a huge
true.
chunk of my existence.
But Stargate SG-1 is the continuation of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So it's kind of the same. So that would be the one you watch. But then after that, it's like Stargate Atlantis and
Mhm.
I forget the other one. But it's so funny because everyone thinks, what is the guy's name who does Aquaman, that good looking man that everyone's in love with, Aquaman? Jason
Totally.
Momoa.
Yeah,
Jason
that's
Momoa.
the one. Yeah, yeah.
So I actually remember him from Stargate Atlantis. Like that's where he
I
started.
didn't realise he was on that. I didn't realise he
Yeah,
was
he
on
was
that.
on that. I think it was Stargate. Let me just check. I think it. Let me just double check. But it was one of the he. Let me just see. Jason Momoa, Stargate. Ooh, Stargate. Yeah, he was on Stargate Atlantis. Yeah, and that's
Okay.
where I remember him from. And it's just so funny
How
because
ironic.
I'm sorry.
How ironic.
Yeah, I just thought it was amazing. But yeah, so if you ever have the chance to watch the first couple of episodes, I think you'll get hooked into Stargate SG-1. I'm just into it right now. And also, have you been watching Picard? I haven't been watching Picard.
Oh, I've got to catch up on that. I'm going to wait till it's all out and then I'll binge watch it.
Yeah, I haven't been watching it. Rick says it's amazing, that it's amazing.
Mm.
Okay, so Interstellar is your favorite movie. Star
Well, you
Wars,
got me now, because you got me with
I know.
2001. I know.
It's okay because 2001 is the classic that we all have to watch if you're going to be a sci-fi geek. You can't not know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And
You've got to
it's so
watch that. Yeah.
yeah, you have to watch it. But it can be second. It can be first for you after, you know.
The thing is, I can't get away from Hal. Hal makes that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
he really does. I mean, in terms of psychopathic killers that talk calmly and are really scary, he
And then
just
also
is
when
a
you
class of his
realize it
own.
was what? It was the 60s
Yeah,
when this
it was
movie
before
came
the
out
moon. It
and
was
the
before the
cell
moon
phones
landings.
and this monitor, us talking to each other, Zoom. I mean, if you watch it again now, you're shocked
It's
by
still fresh. It's still
still
fresh.
there.
Yeah,
And
it's still there.
the
The only thing that
music,
gives it away is some of the styles and the fashions they use in it. It
yeah,
sort of makes you think, oh yeah, this is quite 60s. The way they talk is quite 1960s. But apart from that,
right.
it's still fresh. It's
And it
still
holds up.
modern. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does, and that's what we now sort of 60 years later, maybe ish.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think people like you and I love sci-fi? I'm curious what your thought process is.
I think it could be a number of things. It's like, it's a possibility of what could be.
Yeah.
It's a possibility of what is and we haven't thought of.
Yeah.
Um,
Agree.
yeah, I think I'm also sort of thinking about sort of where does aliens or the alien thing fit in that. But then equally, I think that's more horror. And
Oh, you think that's more horror? That's interesting.
I do, but
Really? Okay.
yeah, because it is because okay, I don't sure what was really in the Alien film. I mean, okay, you call it sci-fi in terms of it's sort of it's space opera sort of and sort of which is offshot of sci-fi. Because I know people get very finicky about this sometimes, but to
Right.
me, it's sort of it fits more in the horror genre because essentially it's monsters, or killing people and the usual thing of like, oh, I'm going to do this alone, and they
Right.
go because they don't come back. It's all the old. horror tropes that you see in all the films and everything.
Well, I'm laughing because I don't watch any horror at all. So that's why when you said that, I was like, oh my God, what? But now that
I
you're
don't like it
explaining it,
either, really. I have seen
yeah,
them, but it's just like, yeah, I'm not keen on it. But the thing is, I'm trying to think where that would fit into it. And I think that's where it fits more into
right.
the horror part of things. But
I think
sci-fi generally is about more possibilities
of
apart
who
from
we
just
can
what's here
be.
on Earth of who we can be,
Yeah.
and that's sort of because a lot of my posts are sort of focusing on cosmos and um, space and thinking outside of this planet, and I think that's kind of feeds into that because when you sort of look outside this
Hmm.
island cradle that we live on, there's a whole world, there's a whole universe out there, sort of that we're trying to understand.
Right.
And sometimes we get things right, and sometimes we get things wrong, um, and sometimes it's beyond comprehension. And that's a whole nother podcast all in itself. I could talk to you
Right.
for hours on some of that stuff, and it just blows your mind about how it all works, and we don't realize it
Yeah.
living on this planet.
Well, I think it's interesting too that, and I'm just changing a little bit. I think I'm fascinated by how many people I know love sci-fi and
Mm.
then spew so much hate about things they don't understand. Like, I think
No, I
that's
know.
kind of one of the interesting, things that, like, I just had this experience the other day where, and again, just going off topic for a moment, this person was spewing such bad things about the LGBTQ community,
Hmm.
and I know this is someone who knows, like, loves things Star Trek Next Generation. It's one of the reasons why we had such a connection. And I don't care what people feel about certain things, but when you have such vitriol, but then you're such
Mm.
a fan of a show. I mean, Gene Roddenberry was the epitome of, kind of acceptance and tolerance, and
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
what
yeah,
his whole
yeah.
show was about. You know what
It
I mean?
was, yeah, it was.
So the
And so it
hatred.
kind of it kind of it's a contradiction which you sort of, but then in sort of, I don't know, I don't know. I mean,
Maybe it's
people,
not. Maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. I don't know.
I
You
don't
might have
know.
a
I
different
mean,
perspective from the UK. Teach me. I don't know.
my thing is, I'm not around where I work and how I live and everything is sort of,
Mhm.
there aren't many people I know, or anyone I know really, sort of who says, oh, you know, any anything derogatory about the LGBT community. But the thing is, I know that does exist.
Right.
So I'm not sort of naive enough to think that doesn't exist. It does exist. Um, what are the reasons for it? I don't know, and that's part of the thing. And I think some people, a lot of these people who have these sort of biases or these
Mhm.
prejudices, don't really know themselves.
Oh, that's
Again,
fascinating. That's fascinating. Yeah.
no, because the thing is, I think it comes back again to sort of like the campfire and
Okay.
the sort of like the people who don't really understand what's going on outside of it, and so they get scared of it, and then that turns into sort of like a bit of a biasy, which turns into a bit more of a prejudice, which is a bit more severe.
I love how
So
you just brought that all back from what we started talking
I
about.
know, yeah,
Because you brought back this campfire. That's awesome.
no, I know, yeah. But the thing is, a lot of it sort of boils down to that. It's like we don't know what we don't know, and we have to
Yeah.
form opinions of the world with what we have, and a lot of what we have is actually not very much at all.
So fascinating. Oh my God. I feel like I mean, I know I've known you for a long time, but this is like such an easy conversation. Okay, I have one last thing for you.
Go on then.
First of all, I hope you'll come back and be on the show. And I know it's at a weird time, but I was
Mhm,
talking to Rick, who's producing my show, and he was saying what would be great is if we could find a time, maybe on the weekend, where we can
mhm.
have, 3 or 4 people, have you on the show. We'll record it and then play it again on a Thursday if you're up for that in the future. You know what I mean?
I'll do my best. Yeah.
Yeah, that we can all we can be around on a Saturday in the morning. whenever, because I have to go to work after this. And then we can
I'm
turn
going to leave
around
work after this.
and you're leaving. Oh, you're at work right now.
I'm at work right now, yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, here's my last question for you.
Sorry.
What are the next steps for you creatively? And what would be your dream job?
I don't know what the next steps are creatively.
Fair.
I have no idea. What I want my future to be, being self-sufficient in life.
Yeah. I'm
That's
right there
it.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am so glad we got to talk, and to me, this has been awesome.
Me too.
And not where I thought this would go, but what a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for doing this for me. Will you email me your information for your website so I get it correctly? And I'll make sure to,
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to edit this and I'm going to put up so that, so people can find your blog. And yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you. This was so cool.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Brilliant.
Hey, Rick.
Hey.
That was so
What's
cool.
up?
I've seen it like 3 times now. So, I
Enjoy
don't
it.
know how to. What view should I have this on? I don't even know.
I'm okay with this one. It's up to you.
This one?
It's up to you. Yeah, I'm good with either.
Yeah. So isn't he kind of cool? He's so
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Isn't it weird? We've never spoken. We've known each other for 10 years. We follow each other's blogs, so we comment all the time and whatever. And so but it was so like when I think about friendships that you make online, especially when you don't see each other, when you're doing like things like blogs or just like chat things or whatever. Hey, Melanie, how are you? Hi, Melanie. You're not late. You're just on time, honey. No problem. So is she busy? So thank you for even stopping by. I appreciate you. But I just love how easy I had this whole, me. I got my list of questions, whatever. We went totally off topic. We just started off topic. You know what I mean? So what were your thoughts, if you had any at all?
Oh, I could see like geeking out with him for hours easily, probably. For sure.
Yeah, I was a little, I'm glad he admitted with me that, Interstellar is not the best movie of all time. Like,
I've never seen SG1. I can try to forgive him for that. I'll do my best.
I know. See, I think the pass with SG1 is you really have to be a huge sci-fi person to even, think about it. SG1 was on Sci-Fi. It wasn't actually on a regular show, on a regular TV channel. Like Star Trek was. I know I'm dating myself, but this is just the truth. Streaming is a new invention. You know what I mean? So I think Stargate in the UK was probably really, you have to be somebody who was really into it. And maybe, he talked about the cable thing, you had to pay for it or whatever. So
I actually talked to people that said they've watched the movie, but they didn't care to watch. Yeah, they didn't care about watching the TV show. I'm like, what? Why? If you liked it.
When I saw the movie, I didn't care so much for the movie. I wasn't like, and I hate to be so cheesy, but I went and saw Stargate because I was like, ooh, Richard Dean Anderson. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, how bad could it be with MacGyver? You know what I mean? So, but then of course I became hooked. But you liked the movie Stargate.
I liked it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you saw Interstellar, right? And you saw 2001.
You know what's funny? Like, so I have this weird memory where if I haven't seen it in a while, then I don't remember if I actually saw it or not. But I generally know I think I saw something. So Interstellar, I was like, yes, I remember the ending kind of. So I saw that one. Martian, yes, because
I didn't see The Martian.
Matt was really funny in a lot of parts. So I remember that.
Matt Damon, who's also an Interstellar and a bad guy.
Yeah. And so in 2001, I was like, surely I've seen that. I just don't remember it. And I'm watching it and I'm watching it and I'm watching it, waiting for something familiar. I never saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, I never saw this.
Okay, wait. So you're going to question somebody who didn't see Stargate? So you've never seen Stanley Kubrick's. Now you've seen it. Yeah. Okay, well now you're officially a sci-fi person because, I saw 2001: A Space Odyssey because I had to because we studied Stanley Kubrick for an entire semester, and that's part of my degree is film. And I loved it. Um, did you like it? I mean, it's
Oh,
hard to watch in the beginning.
no, I liked it. I'm used to Kubrick as far as like I kind of loved The Shining, and I know it's a horror movie, so you probably hate it, but like The
I had to watch it.
Shining.
And
Okay,
how can
yeah,
you hate anything Jack Nicholson is in, right? I mean,
yeah,
how?
it's true.
You
But
can't.
I saw a lot of similar ways he does things in that movie, and from the um the Jack Nicholson one to this one, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what he's
Oh,
doing. He
oh, oh, you're talking about Kubrick.
him himself, how he leaves everything very open, doesn't
Mhm.
really fully explain. You interpret it how you want to interpret it. I'm not going to tell you what it means, and
Right.
that's kind of cool, I guess.
Well, I
But
mean, every film, well, every artist has their own signature, right? I mean, and I'm not trying to get into the weeds like I'm some big film aficionado, whatever. But I mean, once you start to realize that, like, I can pinpoint a Steven Spielberg movie or whatever, you can just because there's a signature, there's a way in which they perform their art or direct their art. So
right.
yeah, I mean, even if you see something like Stanley Kubrick's Citizen Kane,
Mhm.
or I mean, all of the films that he did, you can just tell. Doctor Strangelove is another star Stanley Kubrick film. Yeah, okay, I'm being a little bit of a geek right now, so but yeah, you can kind of tell. But yeah, so you liked that you could
Oh
see
yeah,
those.
I'm definitely gonna watch it again. Definitely gonna watch it again.
Yeah, I've seen it way too many times. I did
Because
my thesis on it. I think I
like
did. I did it specifically in the music.
even
What?
with The Shining, I was like, okay, I don't know if I fully grasped it. Let me watch it again, and then I watch it again, and then watch it again because I'm like, I want to get it. And I feel like this one is the same thing. I'm gonna like watch it again to see if I get it. But I've actually seen a lot of YouTube videos of people talking about it, so I feel like I have a lot of different perspectives now that I didn't initially have. But no, I'll definitely watch it again. I liked it. I thought it was
Well,
pretty
I
cool.
mean, I think the thing about art is that you don't always have to get everything. I mean, it's just my opinion. Like the reason why I do like 2001, and I don't like a lot of the stuff that Stanley Kubrick did. Like this is the irony of it.
Mhm.
But 2001, the reason why I do like it is I don't actually get it all completely. No matter how many times I see the beginning, the opening sequence of the apes, and people who haven't seen 2001 are going to be like, "What is happening?"
Mhm.
But if you just like let it consume you, you don't have to analyze all of it. And then it starts to kind of there are moments that are just too profound not to see. And Interstellar, because he brought up Interstellar. Did you see Interstellar? I don't know if you did see
Yeah,
Interstellar.
I watched that too. But before you switch to that,
Oh,
if you
no,
had
I was just
asked
gonna
me,
say that. Okay, go ahead. I was gonna
if
say
you
that
had,
2001 and Interstellar have a
oh
lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
similarities.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So the 2001, if you had asked, didn't tell me nothing here, watch this movie, don't say nothing about the creation of it, when it was made, blah, 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 blah. And then you asked me, what year do you think this was made? I would never say
yeah,
1968, ever. I would
yeah,
not believe you. I would literally say you're a liar. There's no way.
right.
But it was like, wow, how forward thinking was he? And the man was a genius if you
Brilliant.
think about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this 1968? This is impossible. But no, he really did do it. I
It
was like,
still stands up. I mean, there might be some kind of clicheisms with like outfits or whatever, kind of what Simon was saying, but it actually isn't because if you just like sci-fi people always are able to watch things and just take them for what they are, right? We just sit there and we allow the world to open and we believe Klingons exist or the Jaffa or whatever. You know
wow.
what I mean? Like people,
Yeah.
I was saying the other day, Shova.
No.
I called someone a Shova. Like, and they were like, "What?" I'm like, "Sorry, I've been watching way too much Stargate." Like,
And don't they call, like
um,
I saw a picture of the Stargate and I was like, oh, it's the Chopper Eye. Because don't they
the
call
Java. Like, but that's what I mean. Like, we suspend disbelief. Is that the terminology? So easily
it?
that I don't even think that the wardrobe and the clothing is dated in 2001. I think it's absolutely on point. But that's what makes it amazing.
One thing somebody brought up was I was like, I did not even notice that. They said if you look at the suits and everything, there's no buttons.
Yeah,
No
isn't that
buttons. I'm like,
cool?
I didn't even realize that. I was like, wow.
Yeah. It is I mean, look, I love sci-fi, but let's talk about something else he talked about because I just want to get your opinion. Talking about the whole J.K. Rowling thing, not actually what happened, but just this idea that celebrities, like versus just regular people, this whole cancel culture or saying something and being responsible for it. I wanted to get like what your take is on that.
Mhm. I mean, something I think about kind of often, and actually sometimes I can bring it up with people. I'm like, what's the difference if I say 2 + 2 is 4, gut says 2 + 2 is 4, you get mad about it? Like, the fact is the fact. Like, who cares who said it? Like, people are,
Right.
but people are literally irrational like that. I'm like, it's a fact though. So, or like, I remember I posted something on my Facebook, and I have all the religious people, and then they read it and it's like, oh, that's really cool. But then when they get to the bottom and they realize, oh, it's not a Bible verse. Oh, now they got a problem with it. And I'm like, you were agreeing with it till you found out it wasn't in the Bible. I'm saying, what's the difference? If it's a truth, it's a truth, no matter where it comes from. I don't get I don't know. It's some
Right.
weird human thing that I
Well,
just
I
don't
mean, I
get.
think some of it, I agree with you. And then there's another part of me that's like, but sometimes it's not truth, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not truth. Sometimes it's an opinion. And I mean, that's kind of the thing we've been talking about for years now and trying to figure out, what is fact, what is not fact. But the thing that happened with J.K. Rowling's and, is kind of like she has an opinion about something. She had a right to vocalize that opinion, but then she got slammed for it because it's not true, right? Like, I mean, and you can have your opinion, whatever that opinion is, right? But just because it's your opinion doesn't mean it's factually true.
Mhm.
Um, and again, I don't want to talk about the subject, but I thought it was fascinating because talking to Simon about it, because first of all, I didn't know we were going to go there, but it does put a lot of weight on how we deal with who we are on the internet, right?
Mhm.
And when you look at all this stuff on Twitter about verification, like I now believe anybody who had, and I know you do, honey, but anybody who has a verified thing on Twitter is someone I don't want to listen to. You know what I mean? Like anybody who's paid for a verification now is someone I don't want to talk to. And it's kind of like it's that thing, it's kind of that idea that we're trying to figure out how we communicate, who we trust, who we don't trust. And I feel like we still haven't figured it out. And we've
Mhm.
had the internet now for a while,
Mhm.
but I think it looks like, I think it puts a lot of pressure on
Mhm.
people, on ourselves to kind of be able to decipher who to believe and who not to believe and what to take. Like, what about art? I mean, I
Mhm.
just bought all that, and it was so hard. I bought all the Harry Potter books as I do for all of my godchildren, and because I have a new godchild, and his two sisters, and I bought they put it in a case or whatever, and it was the first time. I've probably bought 7 of these. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? In the years, and it was the first time I was like, I don't want to buy this now, but the
Mhm.
books are so good.
Mhm.
I mean, you have issues with the book, right? In general. You have issues with Harry
Mm.
Potter
I've
books?
I've not read the books, but I've seen the movies mostly, and you would think, oh, it's people with powers and magic, and like that's my
No, I
thing.
know because your religious background, you
But
don't probably like
no,
it.
it's not because of that. It's just for me, it's a little bit teenagerish. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Of
It's
course it is. What are you talking about? Of course it is.
yeah. So it's like
Okay, here's how I'll explain it. Lord of the Rings is
Mhm.
the adults version of that fantasy kind of world, and then Harry Potter is for kids. Why? Of course it is. It was
Yeah.
you're like, it's for kids. I'm like, yeah. But the point is I mean, it was just an amazing thing. And then she said what she said, and it kind of changed. Oh, Victor, I agree 100%. The books are way better, but the movies don't disappoint.
Yeah.
But
That was
I was
interesting
one of
too
those
about
people.
the 2001
I'm
that the
sorry?
book and the movie were being kind of made at the same time. The 2001
I'm sorry.
movie.
Excuse me. I have a phone call.
Oh, excuse me.
I can't believe that I thought I turned off my phone, but I turned it on when we were waiting because I thought you might be like, Carmen, you have to do something. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. I'm coughing a lot now. I don't know what happened.
Oh
Okay,
no,
what were you
just catch
saying?
it
I
for Simon.
apologize.
Simon, thanks for passing on the cough to Carmen. Thanks. I'm just
I
kidding.
know, right? All right, go ahead. What were you saying? I totally lost what you were saying. I'm sorry.
So did I. I can't remember. I'm not even joking.
Oh, you said,
Hey,
hi,
no.
Eric. All right. Eric and the phone call. Yes, I got that from you, baby. But wait, Rick, what were you saying? You were talking about Harry Potter, waiting in line. It was for kids. You saw the movies.
Yeah. Oh no,
What?
the 2001. I got
Yes.
it now.
Go ahead.
So some people think like, well, was the book first? Was the movie first? But from what I understand, they were actually making them kind of at the same time.
No, that's not what
So
was happening. No.
no,
No.
because I know they
No.
said the movie. He didn't base the movie just on the book. It was another book kind of that sparked the idea. I forget what the name of that.
No, all lies. All of that is
Yeah.
a lie. And I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you, me and Andrea are the queens of Harry Potter. Like we okay, so let me tell
I'm
you.
not
So
talking about
Harry
Harry Potter.
Potter. I'm sorry?
I'm not talking about Harry Potter.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, I was like, no, let me tell you what happened with Harry Potter.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Stanley Kubrick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah, I
off.
guess
I
they
was
were
wrong.
both being made simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, I wasn't talking about Harry Potter.
This is vodka.
Okay.
That's what's happening. I'm drinking vodka. It's water. I don't like to get distracted, and so I know who is calling me, and I'm
Mm,
annoyed that they're calling me, and I
mm.
can't get it out of my head now. So I apologize. What else did he talk about?
Can't forget,
What?
can't forget Ted, by the way, because it's already 10 o'clock.
What'd you say?
Can't forget about Ted Hicks because it's already 10 o'clock.
Yeah, well, people gonna finish watching our show. He said around 7. He ain't got like a set time. He said around 7. So I'm not gonna feel bad. No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, people should go watch his show. The problem is late night parents, right? Is that what it is? Late night parents.com is a great resource for parents. I'm not a parent, but it's a great resource for parent. He always posts all these great articles and whatever. But his show tends to be about sports.
I've seen him talk about lots of different things, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, he's on throughout the day then, right?
I don't know if it's all like a lot. I don't know.
So it's only on Thursdays at 7-ish,
That must be
7:50.
like the main one, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Because every time I go to see him on Twitch, I'm like, they're talking about a sport. And then they're talking about a sport I know nothing about, like wrestling. I know nothing about wrestling.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I'm
Did you want
so
to
glad we got to do this.
Did
What?
you want to talk about Interstellar at all? Because I'm glad that I watched it again,
Okay.
and the fact that okay, so they went into the other he's in more than 3 dimensions that we live in.
Right.
I think love. I think that's almost like a dimension itself because it brought him to the exact right place he needed to be. His love and her love brought them together in that library, in that bookshelf thing.
Yeah.
I think that kind of entered.
So I got a little confused at that part.
Mhm.
Everything up until then and then into the dimensions, then it's him talking to his own daughter. And I know we see that in the beginning that she's like, she thinks it's ghosts.
Mhm.
So, okay, let me just tell you, I'm going to just admit something. And you're going to be like, Carmen, you're pathetic. And it's okay. It's all right. I like what I call bubblegum sci-fi.
Mhm.
So what I mean by that, it's pretty simple. It's like Star Trek. There's a problem, Picard and Data fix it or whatever. And then I leave the show happy. And I don't have to think that hard about it. I don't have to be that deep. And then there's BSG, right?
Mhm.
People who don't know what BSG, do you know what BSG? Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
So the latest Battlestar Galactica, people were like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing, great," and I was like, "I hate it." So the reason why I didn't hate it, but I love Star Trek. I respect Star Wars, right? Because Star Wars is more gritty and deep and a little bit more not.
I would call it soap opera-ish kind of.
What is soap
Star
opera?
Wars. Star Wars is more like a long space soap opera. People say space soap opera. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me. So the thing about Interstellar is I liked the whole thing. Oh, Tony didn't like the latest. Oh, wait, you didn't like the newer version of what? Because you
Battlestar
said you liked. No, he said he loved Battlestar Galactica, and then he
You
said,
must mean the first one.
"Well, the first one was like the first one, isn't that like from the '60s?"
No,
I don't know the first one. I know the one with Edward James Olmos. That's the Battlestar Galactica I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's the one I don't know?
That's the old one. Yeah, with the
The
old.
one with Edward James Olmos is the old one?
No. That's the new
That's
version.
the new version.
Right. Yeah, and then
Oh.
they had spin-offs too, so that's probably why.
Oh, yeah, I know. So
Yes.
I didn't, like, I watched it, but I was like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
Lauren Green. That was the original one. Lauren Green.
I
Yep.
don't even know who Lauren Green is. And I know I'm probably older than Tony, so I have no idea. I mean,
Barely, but yeah.
younger than Tony. Like, I don't know who Lauren. Should I know who Lauren Green is?
Dirk Benedict. Yeah. He was Starbuck. Starbuck was a man in the original, and then they changed it to a woman in the new version.
Okay, I'm not gonna go look at the old version because I didn't even love the new version. I watched it.
We're rabbit trailing.
Yeah, that's too much. But anyway, my point is bubblegum sci-fi to me, which is a term I'm coming up to, is stuff that is not too deep. And what happened with Interstellar is I enjoyed all of it. And then when he got into the bookcase, I was like, okay, my head hurts because I have to think about how this happened. Because there's a time travel aspect, which I was already freaking out about when they were on the planet and their days were like years to Earth. You know what I mean? Like I was already like, all right, I'll just accept it. But then when he got into there, I was so confused.
Yeah.
And
one thing I didn't catch either that I saw watching these YouTube videos was when they were on that water planet, and if you listen, they keep playing tick, 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 tick along with all the music and everything else. And they said every tick is a day.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. So you just recently watched it, right? You just recently watched it. Yeah, I know. I mean, I watched it a while ago. I didn't really, but that's cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
See, that's real sci-fi people. They go in and analyze.
Oh, yeah. Real deep.
They're doing videos, like whatever. So it's all good. Hey, Tony, you guys starting your show? Are we going overtime now? He's probably doing both. You know, Tony always doing both shows. But
I would watch The Martian too if you have a chance. It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I will. Is that the one with Matt Damon?
Mm-hmm.
The Martian? Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of sci-fi movies lately. You know, so we'll see. Oh, Tony gonna let me know. Oh, all right. You're gonna give permission. No, I'm just kidding. All good. No, we're about to wrap up. So yeah, that was fun. I hope we can meet up with Simon, maybe have a group of people, whatever, on a Saturday, and then that might be cool too. You know what I mean? Or we could change the day, but I doubt it. I'm not gonna change the day until I don't have to work all week. You know what I mean? But that might be fun too, to do it twice a week or something, but we'll talk about that later. I did set up my website, so you can go check out allaboutthejoy.com. It looks like a child did it. So,
I saw. I didn't think it was.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how much I'm hating. I'm sorry?
I prefer simple. I don't like a whole lot of everything.
A lot of stuff.
I liked it because it was simple, right? Mars Attack was a hysterical. Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see Mars Attack.
I thought it was.
Were they being funny? Were they trying to be funny?
It was like they were like just killing everybody, but it was supposed to be a comedy at the same time.
Oh, no, I don't want comedy in my sci-fi. Not like that.
Yeah.
I like some of my characters trying to be funny like that. I mean, I think that's one of the things I love about Jack O'Neill.
As soon as you said that, I thought his name because
Right.
He's just being himself. It just happens to be hysterical.
He's just he does act like really stupid on the show, but he's not. He's brilliant. But it's just like I like that, or when Data's trying to be funny on Star Trek or whatever, and you're like, yeah, no, dude, is he in Picard? Is Data in Picard?
I've seen everything up to now. If I only had this season, I would be happy. Like
really with Picard.
I don't. The other ones were okay, but if I only had this one, I'd be happy because this one is such a callback to the old stuff, and I kept finding myself laughing and smiling. I'm like, oh,
really?
Yeah. It was really, really. I definitely would love to
get another. I don't want to get another streaming service. Isn't that on Paramount?
Yeah, Paramount Plus. I think.
I'm. You know what? I just got rid of Amazon Prime. I just got rid of what else? I got rid of Disney Plus because I have another one. But you know what I mean? Like I'm just tired of paying, and then I never watch them. Okay.
And now's
all right. I'll have to watch
YouTube TV. Just kidding.
I do have YouTube TV, but it's not on there.
No, I'm saying it's a good time to plug it now. I'm just kidding, though.
Well, I'm not going to plug YouTube TV until they give me some
Don't you
money.
have like a
So,
link? Join with this link, affiliate link or something. I don't know.
right. Okay, we're past the hour mark, but I feel like we had a good. This was fun and it was interesting, and we'll see how we do it again. I think I like the live thing better, but I think for interviews for people international or people who don't have time, it'll be cool. So I don't know. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Everyone who's supporting the show. Oh, I actually got 50. I know people don't think this is a big deal, but for me, it's like everything. I got 50 people on LinkedIn. I could not believe it because it's so hard. When the thing is, I'm not even streaming live on the page at All About the Joy. I'm streaming live on my page on LinkedIn because you have to have like 1,000. So I was just so psyched because people who I don't even know are just adding on. So thank you. If you have a LinkedIn page or YouTube, please follow us. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Oh, Rick, you
Like,
didn't.
share, and subscribe.
I hate
Like,
that though.
share, and
Like,
subscribe.
share, and subscribe. Like, share, and
They
subscribe.
all do it. Everybody does it.
That's why I don't want to do it like that. That's why I want to be like, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please add us. I'm trying to change it up a bit. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
Change the
share,
verbiage.
subscribe. People not going to do it. No, I'm just kidding. And then, of course, go visit Rick at his show at
I'm only
rickcosta.com.
I'm only
What?
5 people away on YouTube from getting 1,000. 5 people. I only need 5 more people and have 1,000 on YouTube.
But what happens when you have 1,000 on YouTube? You can monetize?
No, you have to have 4,000 watch time hours.
Okay, but it's like my
Oh,
50. It's a big deal.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So how many you need? 5 more people?
5 more on YouTube, and then I'll have 1,000. And then that still don't
And then
change
we
nothing.
party?
I have.
Do we win $1 million? What
Um,
happened? Like, I want to find out. So please follow Rick on YouTube after you follow me. Okay, cool.
yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. And we'll see you
Yeah.
next week on All About the Joy. Bye. Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.